Hi class. I want to finish up the worksheet that we were doing on Wednesday. We had these two problems that we didn't get to that day. This first one is asking us to make a regular expression for strings where any group of contiguous A's is odd in length. So it's talking about strings where if you have all A's, you have an odd number of A's. If you have some B's in your string, then every group of A's is odd. Like that one has 1, this one has 3, so that would be a good string. You can have no A's at all. This last sentence says that the strings can be made just of B's, and that's okay. So all B's is okay, all A's is all right if the string's length is odd. If you have more than one group of A's, each one has to be odd. So let's think now how we make a regular expression for that language. It said that you can have just B's, and I believe we ought to separate that case out and make a little part of our regular expression that's just for strings that have only B's, and OR that with a regular expression for strings that have at least one A in them. So if they have at least one A, then that one A has to be in an odd length clump. Let's make an odd length clump. This is what they look like. There's a piece that's even, generates an even number of A's, and then you tack one more A on. You could put it at the beginning or the end of that parenthesized piece. But that's an odd length clump right there. Now, we have some other things we have to think about. The string could, sorry about this dead-gum noise. I need to mute my speakers or something. I hope that doesn't mess up the recording volume. I don't think it will. Okay, so this is an odd length clump, but our string might start with B's, and we don't have that built in there yet. So I think I need to put a B star. Where's my pencil? Right here. I need to put a B star right there to allow the strings to start with B, even though they do have some A's in them. So there's my first clump. Now, I might have more clumps of A's. And if I do, it's going to be really important to separate, for example, this clump from that clump. If you allow two odd length clumps to be generated one after another, well, then you put them together, you're going to get an even length clump, and that's not good. So it turns out that you need those B's right there as separators. So I think what I need is an optional piece of my regular expression that has some B's for separators to separate at least one B, but maybe more, to separate additional odd length clumps of A's from previous odd length clumps of A's. So let's see. I can start with B's if I want. Here's my first odd length clump of A's. If I have more, I have to make them with this piece. But these B's, at least this one B right here is mandatory, so I have to have at least one B separating this clump from that clump. And then the next time I come in here, these B's would separate future clumps from the clump that this made the last time. Okay, there's only one thing missing, and that is the string needs to be able to end with B's. And if I didn't have this little piece right here, it would be forced to end with A's, either this A or that A. So I think that does it. If you discover that there's something wrong with this regular expression, please bring it up in class so that we don't leave people thinking that that was right when it wasn't. And I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. So I believe that's right, but it could possibly not be. Now, this second problem is asking us to prove that this regular expression is equivalent to this regular expression. If you look at them carefully, you'll see the difference between them is that this one has a B and an A, this one has a B and an A in between two pieces A or B star that can generate anything, but the difference between them is that between the B and the A, in this one there's another A or B star that's not over here. And this problem is asking us to prove that those are really doing the same job, that they are making strings that have BA in them. It's clear that's what this one's doing. That's a substring regular expression. Every string will have to have a BA in it. That's clear. But it looks like you could put junk in here between the B and the A that might make it not contain a BA. But this is saying that's not true, that no matter what you put in between the B and the A that have to be there, that the string you make out of this whole thing is bound to have a BA in it. And it suggests that we sketch out a proof and divide our proof into 5 cases depending on what that A or B star in the middle generates. So here are the cases it suggests for what we can put between the B and the A. We could put something that itself has a BA in it. Now, I could just say does not have a BA in it, but in order to be really clear in my proof, I'd like to divide the things that don't have BAs in them into different kinds of things. So one thing that doesn't have a BA in it is lambda. Another thing that doesn't have a BA in it is a string that's all A's. Likewise, a string that's all B's does not have a BA in it. And finally, strings that do have some A's and some B's but don't have a BA would have to have all its A's before its B's and have some of each in order to be different from these other cases. So let me just summarize now what I've said so far. We're trying to prove that this regular expression generates the exact same language that this regular expression generates, and that that language is strings that contain BA. We're going to prove that by saying this piece that's different, the A or B star in between the B and the A, doesn't matter at all. It'll still generate strings that have BAs in them. This big regular expression will generate strings with BAs. And that's because no matter what you put in between this B and that A, you'll still end up with a BA. So here's the argument. If the thing you put in between them itself has a BA in it, well then, of course, you're going to make a string that has a BA in it. So that's an easy case. I want you to think through all these other cases, but let me just get you started. I'll do 2 and 3 also. I'll just hint at them. If you put nothing in between the B and the A, is the string you make going to have a BA in it? Yes, because that B and that A will make the BA. Well, what if you put some A's, all A's, in between that B and that A? Is the string that you make going to have a BA in it? Yes, because the first A in between will follow that B and make a BA. And you think about what happens when you put all B's in there, or if you put a string that has some A's and then some B's. In every single case, you're going to end up with a string that has a BA in it. So even though these two don't look like they're doing the same thing, they really are. Now I'm going to stop here and save this recording, and then we'll do a new recording for the next worksheet.